Hi guys, I hope you are all safe and well. And yes, I don't normally do a live here on my personal Facebook page. So this is a first, but it is for a very, very good reason. So first of all, if you're watching, thank you for watching. Like I said, I don't usually do it here on my personal page. But this is for a very, very good reason. What I'm talking to you about today, very quickly, very briefly, before the England game kick-off, is the UK Sepsis Trust Recovery and Wellbeing Diary. So first of all, if you're watching, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you're watching. Who are you? Where are you from? Are you here from the UK? Could this be a benefit to you? Let me know. So I'm going to give it a couple of moments, see if we get any thumbs up. Who've we got? We've got Carol. Hi Carol, hope you're well. I will reply to your comment in the other group after this. So I haven't forgotten you, I will respond. Okay, so I'm just going to crack straight on. Facebook usually doesn't show me who's watching, so yeah, let's just crack on, get on with it, ready for the England game. So the UK Sepsis Trust Recovery and Wellbeing Diary. Why is this so important? For anyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty sure you do know because I shout it from the rooftops. I had sepsis 4 years ago when I was 21 years old. I've survived twice. I got sepsis through a very simple chest infection. So, fast forward, I was in hospital. When I was discharged, I was not told about what I had just been through. I was not told about what my body had been through. And most of all, and most importantly, I wasn't told what my body or my mental health, my well-being, and what my recovery would be after suffering from a severe infection. So severe infection, we've got sepsis, septic shock, we've got toxic shock syndrome, COVID-19, and many, many more. Any serious infection, there is going to be a recovery time. But the most important thing here is the fact that as a patient, you are told about what your recovery is going to be like, what could it be like, and what to expect. So for many sepsis survivors, they go on to suffer with what we call post-sepsis syndrome. I'm going to give you a similarity that you see everywhere now. Everyone is talking about it, and that is long COVID. So long COVID is the after effects of COVID-19. So basically, put a mirror between them, they are exactly the same. Yes, there is a few differences with signs and symptoms, but initially they are pretty much bang on the same. So getting on with it, this is free to order on the UK Sepsis Trust website. There is no fee. You just go on there and you just order it and it will arrive. Now, arrival time, hi Mimi, hope you're well. Arrival time is, I think I got mine within kind of like 48 hours, roughly. So really, really good arrival time. And it just comes like this and it comes like this. So we have a little pamphlet here. This is what I'm going to start with. So this, I think, is really, really key because, as I recently said, when you're discharged from hospital, you're not told anything that your body could go through, what your mental health could be like. So in here, and I'm so glad that they have done it, is they have just put a little introduction. So why do we have a recovery diary? Why do we have a wellness diary? So I'm just going to quickly read from here. I'm looking at the time. I'm not going to keep you for too long because we're all eager for the England game. So it says here, every aspect of your life influences your state of well-being. Researchers investigating happiness have found that there are key factors that enhance an individual's state of mind. Anxiety, diet, sleep, connection, and having a sense of purpose. Absolutely. So during recovery from a serious illness, these can often be affected in profound ways. I have spoken to so many people that are going through extremely life-changing times, and they weren't aware that the things that they were feeling, the things that they were experiencing could actually be from post-sepsis syndrome or because of their recovery. So, key fact, everyone's recovery is unique and isn't always dictated by how serious the illness or length of stay in hospital. So my personal stay, I was in hospital for 3 weeks. I had sepsis through a chest infection. I have known people to be in intensive care for up to a month or more, and they suffer exactly the same post-sepsis syndrome symptoms that I do, yet I was in hospital half the length of their stay, and they might have had it from a really severe infection. So everyone's experience can be different, and that goes with the recovery as well. Obviously, it's extremely normal, and I'm so glad that they use that word normal, because a lot of people do feel abnormal after post-sepsis. You're having these feelings, whether they're physical, mental, cognitive, you feel abnormal. So I'm so glad that they have used the word normal. This is normal. It can be upsetting, but please remember you are not alone. UK Sepsis Trust, you have hit the nail on the head. Thank you for using that. You are not alone. That is key. And then they've just got a few little quotes in here as well, which is really good. So what are you going to gain by getting one of these? Clearly understand and document your current behaviour patterns. You're going to understand behaviour in a moment. Identify existing positive trends that you can take in your recovery. So what has changed that is a good thing? What are you doing now during your recovery that is benefiting you, that is having a positive change on you personally and your lifestyle? By noticing any unhelpful patterns that you may need to address and raise with your GP. Brain fog. So you might want to note down when you have brain fog. Is there triggers? Are you having anxiety attacks? What are the triggers? To write everything down, it's so useful. Help you plan and prioritise future activities. Absolutely. I know so many people that suffer with anxiety attacks. I'm going to give you a very key, I can't think of the word, brain fog. Someone that I know that was in intensive care would suffer anxiety attacks from wearing the face mask during the pandemic. That feeling of not being able to breathe. So having something like a planner to plan out her day, her trips, so that she could mentally prepare for wearing a face mask so that she doesn't have an anxiety attack. I know that sounds so trivial and it doesn't sound serious, but to somebody that has been in that situation, in hospital, in intensive care, where they're wearing a breathing face mask, and then having to wear a normal face mask on a day-to-day basis, going out shopping, you know, that can be extremely terrifying. So I really agree with the point here to help and plan and prioritise future events, because if you have that state of mind, you are going to want to prepare for it mentally, instead of just going straight in, putting a face mask on and having a panic attack in public. Obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but obviously it's not something that an individual would want to do. So the ideas that they've put into their recovery and wellbeing diary, we've got activity and fatigue, pain, sleep, nutrition, memory, cognitive and mental health. So they are your key aspects here. It's got a red note in here, so any of the red notes are really important to look at if you do order one of these, which I really recommend doing, is please know that this isn't a substitute to any guidance you might receive from your GP or health professionals. We'd encourage you to maintain close ties with them on your journey back to health. Okay, so when I was discharged, I had no relationship, I had no connection with my GP post sepsis. I didn't have a follow-up, I didn't have anything at all. I wasn't told what sepsis was, I wasn't told, I've already been through it, I wasn't told anything. Okay, so if I had been given one of these on my discharge, or if my mum had been given one of these on my discharge, I would have been more mentally prepared for what was going to come later on during my recovery. So if, for example, the hospital that I was at was Darrant Valley in Kent, if I was discharged and the hospital had given me just this really simple book pack on recovery and well-being, they wouldn't necessarily need to go through the ins and outs of what sepsis was. I could then have gone away and looked into it and realised that, okay, my road to recovery is going to be longer than what I thought. This is what I'm going to expect. But unfortunately, these aren't handed out at discharge. These need to be handed out at discharge. They really do. So, what else have we got in here? So it just goes over the key aspects. So we've got pain, sleep, nutrition, memory and cognitive. So in here it's going to have the top tips and what you could do. So it says here you could use the diary to prioritize time for things that help with your memory. So for cognitive, like brain fog, memory loss. Yeah, they've really done well with this. Then it's also got, I'm really glad that they've put this in there as well. They've got an appendix with websites and phone numbers, mental health organisation numbers in here as well. I don't know if many of you know, a couple of months ago I dealt with a situation where a bereaved parent almost took his life, but because I knew what to look out for, I knew triggers, I knew how this person was, how they was talking, myself and another sepsis survivor managed to get him the help he needed. He's okay, he's here today, but if this had been handed out with all of the numbers that needed, I think it might have been a very different story. So we've got the UK Sepsis Trust number, which you all need to know, NHS Every Mind Matters, British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, British Diabetic Association, because a lot of people post-sepsis would suffer with nutritional issues. My follow-up was when I met you, Jess, 2 years I had sepsis, when you explained PSS and 100%. So word of mouth, a lot of people have learnt about their sepsis recovery, because the likes of myself and other sepsis survivors have been open and have spoken about it very publicly, where things have gone wrong, where the NHS does need to improve. That's where obviously my conferences come in. But then we've also got Samaritans and Mind. They've got really useful apps in here as well. So moving on very quickly, what we got, we're 46. So these are the little cards that you are given. So this is essentially your Wellbeing Diary. Now I'm going to show you a diary that I have used prior. And I swear by them, but they're very similar. Obviously these are the main UK Sepsis Trust ones, which are fantastic, but I use CGD London, and it's got everything exactly the same as what is on here, but just in a physical diary form. But I believe that these are an absolute asset to someone that has just come out of hospital. I would have loved to have been given one of these prior. So we've got here Wellbeing Diary, and you enter just your week. This week's mantra, so for anyone that is in the sepsis groups, you know that Mike Mahoney posts an affirmation every single morning without fail. So that could be your mantra, that could be your affirmation, something that is going to give you that boost. I am grateful for, explanatory, write it in there. One thing I want to achieve. Now, the one thing to remember with when you've come out of hospital and you're recovering from a serious infection, sepsis, COVID, you're suffering with PSS or long COVID, be grateful for the small steps. Whether you're eating a slightly larger portion, you're going for a slightly longer walk, maybe you're getting up and making a cup of tea. It's the small things to be grateful for. So one thing I want to achieve is keep it small. Don't give yourself huge goals. Once you've come out of hospital, we all want to push ourselves to get back on our feet. But sometimes that does more harm than good. So the one thing that I recommend for anyone that goes through sepsis or an infection or COVID is small steps every day. Don't push yourself too much, because the smaller steps you're going to go such a long way. It may seem like it's going to take longer, but you're not going to have step backs along the way. So please do just take it slow. So I have had enough sleep, sunshine, daylight, social interaction, water and relaxation time. Comes down to put you first. You have been through something traumatic. It's so important. Now, a lot of people do suffer with nightmares, post-sepsis syndrome, severe nightmares. I personally did. I had nightmares that I was losing my teeth, and it felt so real, and I couldn't sleep, and it was awful. So I have had enough sleep. I wouldn't have been able to tick off I have had enough sleep because I was exhausted. Okay. Social interaction, a lot of people do cut themselves off. That's not the way to do it. There's a lot of social media groups that I lead a few of them. I know quite a few of you are a part of them. Water, hydration, keep hydrated, and relaxation time. Take time for you. So, me time. I've had time to listen, read, watch and do. Very explanatory. These could be really, really good for children that have just come out of hospital, actually. Wellbeing Diary, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And just a simple smiley face. How are you feeling? Is what they're getting out there. Are you feeling down? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling just sad? These are key things to take note of when you have come out of hospital, whether it's for an infection or anything really. You just want to keep track of you and your mental state. So again, thumbs up for the UK Sepsis Trust there. I think that is spot on. So you do get a couple of sheets of those. You get 5 of those. So that's 5 weeks. So there you go. They're saying 5 weeks of recovery time. 5 of those. Now we've also got 5 of these, and then I'm going to be done and I will be out of your hair and going to watch the England game. So food chart. This comes down to nutrition. Obviously, when you've been in hospital, you might have lost a lot of weight. You might have lost your appetite. You might not be eating the same as what you used to. So a food chart, brilliant, spot on, well done. Water in here, so 8 lots of water a day to tick off. And funnily enough, that is in my diary as well, 8 lots of water a day. And then on the back of there, we've also got an activity planner. They really have done so well with this. So you've got activity types requires more energy, so that's type 1. Type 2 requires less energy. R for rest time, ideally without a device, spot on. Sleep. F for periods of excessive fatigue. Oh my goodness, excessive fatigue. My fatigue is awful, even to this day, so 4 years on. So that could be something for me to tick off 4 years later. But ideally, I think this could be extremely beneficial to somebody that has just been discharged, or even like a couple of weeks prior, and they're just starting to feel a certain way or suffer certain signs and symptoms. Yeah, wow. 100%. I think the UK Sepsis Trust have done so well with this. It's very simple, it's very easy to understand, so it could be used for an adult or a child. It could even be used for an adult that is looking after an elderly person that has been through it. Yeah, I'm really impressed. The fact that it's free, but what I hope that these get handed out in hospital. I hope these are handed out to patients on discharge. I think it could be extremely beneficial. I most certainly would use certain aspects of it now, i.e. to track my fatigue. My nutrition is fine, but mainly my cognitive. I would say that I would use that to track my cognitive, because it's terrible. I can't even tell you how bad my memory loss and cognitive brain fog is, and I write everything down. So in here, so this is my business order book, this is my notes, this is my journal. Everything that I have it goes in here, and I'm going to show you just a plain page of why I use the certain diary that I do. So it's just got like quote of the day, so like your mantra, your positive affirmation, today's plan. So it's just a blank canvas, you can just use it as a note. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, exercise, water, self-care, and personal notes. So I use this for everything, but this is my equivalent of the UK Sepsis Trusts. But would I have used these over this if I had been given these? Yes, I would. So if you haven't ordered your recovery and wellbeing diary, please go to the UK Sepsis Trust website and order one. Perhaps you've just had a child come out of hospital. Perhaps your loved one has just gone through COVID, and the UK Sepsis Trust do also state that these can be used for COVID patients, COVID survivors. So they're incredible. What an incredible organisation. But yeah, guys, that's it. That is it from me. So a complete thumbs up to the UK Sepsis Trust there. You can use this diary, wellbeing, recovery for anything. Perhaps you're on medication after you've been discharged and this medication is having certain side effects. You could use this to note everything down so that when you go back to the doctor, you have it all there in black and white. A lot of doctors and GPs do turn away a lot of sepsis survivors that go to them with asking for help. I'm feeling this way, I'm suffering with this, my hair's falling out, my eyesight changed, my sense of taste and smell has changed, and certain things. And the GPs and healthcare professionals do turn a blind eye to post-sepsis syndrome. They always have. And that's why I just think, yeah, you just need, there we go, my light's back on. We need things like this because we're not listened to. You might be a healthcare professional watching this, and if you're a GP and somebody came to you with this, with all of their notes, could you really turn around and say that it's all in their head? Because to me, I don't think you could. So order yours. Yeah, 100%. Right, let's go. England game is on. if you want me to do a proper in-depth review, let me know. Should I do more lives here on my personal page? Let me know. Just send me a direct message. And yeah, let me know, because I don't usually do it on here. But perhaps you've watched this and you're not part of any of the sepsis communities, but you've enjoyed learning about a new topic or learning about the awareness side, or yeah, just let me know. Right, let's go. Hopefully England win. Yeah, I know, all in our heads, isn't it? It's not. I can promise you it's not. Don't ever feel like it is. Don't ever feel like you're on your own, because you're not. You're not going through anything that you're going through on your own. Myself and a lot of the participants for hashtag around the world in 13 days, the UK Sepsis Trust, we're all here for you. Please don't ever feel alone. My inbox is always open. Perhaps you're not a part of one of the sepsis communities, but one of your loved ones has been through sepsis and you've come across this. My inbox is open. Any questions, message me. Yeah, let's go. Right, see you all later, and stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and love to you all.